Yep, I'm good with it.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm Philip Wu with the Pittsburgh Department of City Planning, and I will be moderating tonight's development activities meeting on behalf of the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership. We have two projects that will be presented this evening. The first is for the installation of security cameras on the exterior of 821 Liberty Avenue. That's the Catholic Charities building located at the corner of Liberty and 9th. And the second project is for the proposed addition of 17 new apartments and common space at the Penn Garrison Lofts, located at 921 Penn Avenue. Let me share my screen real quick. All right. I know we only have a couple of people here tonight, but just want to get into a few housekeeping items related to participating in the Zoom call. First, if folks run into any technical issues or need any assistance with the meeting, please use the Q&A tool. If folks have any questions for the presenters tonight, please use the chat feature to type out your question. Or if you'd like to speak your question out loud, you can tap the raise hand button. Or if you're calling in by phone, I'll announce the last 4 digits of your phone number when we're ready to have you speak. For our presenters tonight, we ask that you try your best to describe what's on each slide that you're presenting. And lastly, this meeting is being recorded so that the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership will be able to post it on their website for anyone who wasn't able to attend or who would like to watch the meeting recording later. And with that, I'm going to hand it off to Derek Dauphin, neighborhood planner for downtown, who will briefly discuss the Registered Community Organization Program and the development activities meeting components of that program, as well as next steps after tonight's presentations.
All right, thanks, Phil. So as Phil noted, my name is Derek Dauphin. I'm the Department of City Planning's neighborhood planner for downtown, uptown, the Hill District in Oakland. If for folks that are unfamiliar with what these meetings are all about, these are required meetings that were created through the Registered Community Organizations legislation and program that we administer. The basic idea of the program is to recognize community organizations that meet certain standards around transparency and representation, and then one of the responsibilities and duties is to host these meetings, and then city planning staff are here to sort of take notes, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. These meetings are not triggered for every project. There are certain triggers. Often it has to do with the board or commission that the project is reviewed by, or the scale of the project, and so that determination made by our zoning and development review staff. So the key thing about this meeting is that it is an opportunity for community members, stakeholders to learn about a project before it's permitted, before it goes to any commission. This is really a great chance to learn about the project and to understand if you have concerns or want to be further involved in the rest of the review process. For downtown, the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership is the RCO, has been for quite a while at this point. So we're getting more and more used to these meetings. Next slide, Phil. So what do I do and what happens after this? My predominant job at this meeting is really to stay quiet and write everything down. So we have a standard form that we fill out. In that, I capture the presentation from the applicant, and I capture the questions that attendees ask, and I capture the answers. And I try to do that as neutrally and concisely as I can. That report then goes to the board or commission that's reviewing the project. And so the idea is that they have a neutral telling of what happened at the meeting as they try to understand the project and any testimony that's received at the meeting. That should be clear on that I'm not proposing any recommendation. I'm not coming to a conclusion. I'm not saying the community thinks this. I'm really just capturing what's been said. So if anyone feels strongly about the project, it's important that you consider providing your own testimony in writing or verbally on the Zoom meeting for the commissioner board, because I'm just going to be representing exactly what you said and what the answers were. There aren't going to be any recommendations from this report. So I think without further ado, I'll hand it back to Caitlin, unless there's another slide, Phil, that I'm missing. I don't think that there is. Nope. So I'll hand back to Caitlin to sort of proceed with the meeting.
Thanks, Derek. And hey guys, yeah, I'm Caitlin Fadgen. I am the Senior Manager of Economic Development with the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership. So, I am the point of contact for any project that goes through our development activities meeting process as in the RCO for downtown. So we can get started into the projects now at this time. Our first project is going to be 821 Liberty Avenue, the addition of exterior video surveillance cameras. And I will let Ray go through the materials for this project, and the City of Pittsburgh board that they need to go through will be the Historic Review Commission too.
And Ray, would you like to share your screen, or do you just want me to keep going through the slides?
Sure, you can, if you want to go through the slides, or I can share my screen, whatever is more convenient.
Okay, if you'd like to share your screen, I'll let you do so.
Great. All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, I can see it. Oh yeah, that's perfect. The full screen view looks great.
Okay, great. So thank you very much for having us speak tonight about the Catholic Charities building downtown. Currently, there is an existing IP video surveillance system that they have on the inside of the Welcome Center, which would be on the first floor of the building. And the Welcome Center has a lot of activity during the day. A lot of individuals who need a place to just get warm, come in, grab a meal, or they need to consult with someone at Catholic Charities for medical, dental, health issues, or to see if they can get on any programs. So if you've not been to the Catholic Charities building during normal business hours, it can be pretty overwhelming. There's a lot of folks that are in and out of there. We have had a lot of incidents over the last, since 1/1/19 to present. We've had over 40 incidents submitted by the Catholic Charities security officers. 30 of the incident reports were related to narcotics overdoses and intoxicated individuals on the sidewalk outside of the building, some of them actually coming into the building. We've seen a huge rise in drug activity, not just use, but sale as well. And criminal activity at and around the building is really increased dramatically over the last 2 years. I think we've been down there for 3 years now, and it seems to be escalating every year. I believe that there's new drugs that are hitting the streets. Obviously, we've have a lot of the heroin overdoses, but we've also seen a significant rise in this K2 drug. What will happen is that individuals will use an ATM card to swipe into the ATM. There's an ATM lobby right next to the building, and they'll go in there, and they're often using drugs in there, and amongst other things. So we've had to call the police, sometimes 4 or 5 times a day to the building, whether it was related to someone overdosing. We had to administer Narcan, and it's just gotten to a point where Catholic Charities, that we have the cameras on the inside, but the activity on the outside of the building has been consistently getting worse over the last 2 years. There's a lot of safety and security issues. Staff, clients, patients, and the visitors. We can lump everyone into that area that we feel is at risk with safety and security. Clients and patient incident reports have increased over the last 2 years, which I said. Activities and educational classes for children are being held on site during work hours and after hours, which has presented some challenges from a security standpoint. Staff members, they have been expressing concern over leaving at the end of the workday. They don't feel safe walking to their cars, so we've been having to do actual escorts to their vehicles. So it's requiring the guards to stay a little bit later until everyone is really out of the building. As I said, the Welcome Center acts as a warming station for many homeless individuals in the area. While the interior of the site, as I said, is protected with cameras, most of the incidents are occurring on the exterior of the property, or they're coming into the property, or it's spilling out to the sidewalk of the property. We also had a couple incidents, liability and insurance documentation wise. The police have requested that they get cameras on the outside of the building for a lot of the incidents that we've actually called them for. And they said, well, if we don't have video surveillance, then we can't really do much about it. It's kind of hearsay, which has been a little bit concerning for the safety and security of anyone that's coming in and out of the building. We did have one slip and fall in 2020 that resulted in a legal settlement. I don't really know much about that situation, but I think the cameras would have greatly helped increase the security and safety around the building and kind of deterred a lot of the things that have gone on. We had two incidents involving individuals removing bricks from the sidewalk outside the building during the protests. We don't know if the bricks were never recovered, but we presume that they were used to smash windows or whatever they were used for. We were hoping that they weren't used against any other individuals. But that's just kind of an overview of why the Catholic Charities is requesting that we actually get approval to add the cameras to the outside of the building. Can we go to the next, or I have to go to the next slide? There we go. Okay, so this is the cameras 1 and 2. This is Liberty Avenue. This is 9th right here. We'd be adding 4 cameras. These are 3 of the cameras here. One would go in this location. The other one would be right on the corner of Liberty and 9th. And this is the entrance to the building. This is the entrance to the actual Welcome Center right here. The entrance to the Victory Center, which is where we actually have 2 guards in those lobbies pretty much at all times, except after hours. Camera 3 would be capturing basically both of those doors. We just wanted to get a really good shot of this sidewalk because we've seen a lot of activity there. I was actually down at the building working in March and witnessed an overdose right in front of the building. It was a pretty scary situation. We had to administer Narcan to this young lady. And speaking on that as well, we've had to administer Narcan. Sometimes we've actually run out of Narcan for the amount of overdoses that have been going on. Most of them actually in the lobby. Some have happened on the outside of the building too. So those are the 3 cameras on the front, 2 on the front of the building and 1 on the Liberty Avenue side. The 4th camera would actually be, and there's a little alleyway between the Catholic Charities building and then there's a valet parking lot over here. And that would be shooting down this side. We've seen some activity down here as well. Generally, it's been a bit of a hotbed of activity in the day. I don't know if you've been, I'm sure most of you have been downtown and it can get pretty busy down there, but things have gotten a little crazy over the last couple of years. This slide is essentially showing what type of mounts and cameras that we intend to use at the site. It's a standard pendant mount, and we have 4 megapixel IP cameras. They will have a motorized lens on there, so they can be zoomed, and they provide really great image quality when recording. So this would be on the Liberty Avenue side. This is where we intend to mount the first camera, which would be shooting up Liberty toward this area right here, which is the actual ATM little lobby that is connected to the main lobby of the Welcome Center. There's just a lot of activity that goes on right here. Camera 2 would be right here on the corner of Liberty Avenue, and this would be shooting down 9th toward the parking lot in the alleyway. Camera 3 would be shooting up 9th toward Liberty, and camera 4 would be shooting down the alleyway, covering these doors. And there's some dumpsters back here that and a loading dock that the folks in the building are constantly using to bring equipment in and out of the building and receive deliveries. So that's in a nutshell what we're looking to accomplish. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Right. Thank you so much for going over, the project and sort of the scope of what angles those cameras will be catching. Yeah, our offices, we're like a block down from there. So I know how that, area around the building on Liberty and 9th Street can get sometimes. So I think most people would agree that having, some extra coverage in that area, if you can, save someone's life if they're overdosing or, for just general liability reasons, I think that's a good thing there. So are these cameras, will whoever's in the building have like live access to the activity from the interior, like in a real-time sense? Just curious.
Yes, they will. So the cameras, the actual main, the network video recorder that the cameras will be connected to is located in the lobby of the Welcome Center. And so the guard on duty will have access to those cameras. We actually have 2 to 3 guards down there right now during the daytime. So one guard is really monitoring the cameras, what's going on in the lobby. And then we also have the guard in the Welcome Center, or I'm sorry, in the Victory Building, which is just the next little partition down, which houses a lot of the Catholic Charities offices and the classrooms for the children and for whatever other events that they're hosting. That security officer also has access on the laptop there. I set them up to be able to take a look at the camera so that everyone is kind of watching what's going on inside the building for right now. I mean, some of the cameras that are inside do see outside, but in order to really see effectively outside, they would need to have cameras on the outside of the building.
Gotcha.
But to answer your question, yes. And we can set up the folks from Catholic Charities, Jill Krause and Kathy Eichmann they have access to the cameras remotely as well, and they can view them live, and they can also access the recorded video if it's ever needed for anything.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. That's helpful just for our organization to be aware of too, because we do communicate very regularly with the Zone 2 commander and everything, just to kind of get an understanding of what's happening downtown, especially with this K2 drug. So yeah, thank you for explaining that.
You're welcome.
All right, thanks, Ray. I think we can probably move on to 921 Penn, the Penn Garrison Lofts, and we have Brandy and Sean from Strata Architecture with us. If one of you would like to share your screen.
I can, but I wasn't really prepared to share my screen. Hold on.
I can share it too if that would be easier.
Just a second, sorry. Okay. Oh, hold on. Here. Okay. Sorry. Is this okay?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. All right, so hi, I'm Brandy Davis from Strata Architecture, and I'll be discussing the proposed renovations at the Penn Garrison Lofts. The old Social Security, well, the former Social Security office used to be located on the 1st and 2nd floors, and right now we're proposing an additional infill it with apartments and a retail component that currently is to be determined. Okay. This is the site plan showing the project location at 921 Penn Avenue. It's bordered by Penn Ave on the south, Garrison Place on the east, and French Street on the north. And then it's adjoined to the building at 907 Penn Ave. These are the proposed floor plans. On the ground floor, you can see we're proposing the retail component along the storefront along Penn Avenue, an additional 4 units along the east, and then an amenity space in the center of the building, which will also include bike storage. On the second floor plan, there's an additional 13 apartment units and another amenity space. So this brings the total to 7 one-bedrooms, 1 studio, and 9 two-bedroom units. The exterior work will be very minor. It's currently 3 windows on the east that have been bricked up before, and we'll be replacing those, and then 1 on the backside on the north. For sustainability, all of the plumbing fixtures will be low flow. All of the lighting fixtures, LED, mechanical system will be high efficiency water source heat pump units. For accessibility, right now the building is fully accessible, and there are currently 150 units and 4 ADA units. So even with our additional 17, we will still meet code. And then the construction management plan, there are no street closures planned. All of the loading will occur through the existing alleyway on the back French Street, along with the dumpster. And construction is expected to be about 6 months. So that's it.
All right, thanks, Brandy. Any questions for Brandy or Sean?
I have a question. This is Derek. Just to confirm the commission approval you're seeking?
Well, we have to go to planning commission because of the additional new units, and we have at least an administrative review of the historic, because we're in the Penn Liberty Historic District.
Great. Thanks for clarifying that, guys. And just one thing, the retail space on the first floor, that is a leasing office now, right?
No, that's in the adjacent building. That's the leasing office. The storefront that will be the new retail is actually the storefront that Social Security previously occupied.
Okay, great. Gotcha. I was confused there for a minute. So is there a plan, like, so that could be leased to, like, you know, a separate tenant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no, given the state of affairs, we don't know what would be occupying it right now. And it is greatly reduced from what it previously was, but it's still a sizable space.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Thanks. That's everything I had. Does anyone else have any other questions?
Okay. Well, thank you for your time. And if there's anything else you need from us, we'll be happy to provide it.
Great. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. You guys have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, well, I guess that wraps us up. Short and sweet.
Yeah. I guess to be expected,
Right. Yeah.
Nothing too controversial.
Nope. All right, guys. Well, we can wrap it up here. If anyone has any other questions about these projects, feel free to reach out to me. And I think that's it. We can conclude this meeting.
Sounds good. Have a great evening,
All right,
everyone.
thanks.
Bye-bye.